This podcast is sponsored by Field Agent Canada.
You know what, guys? Retailers and brand folks, listen up. Things are moving fast out there. You got your product listed.
How do you know if it made it to the store? And then how do you know if it made it to the shelf? And then how do you know if it made it to the right part of the shelf? You have a really short window to prove success, but you can't prove success if you can't prove if it's there or not.
I mean, it was one of the most frustrating things, even when I was a buyer, is that I would tell you, you got your product listed. Yes, it's going out. You're going to be in 50 stores. Should be out this week. Well, there's times where someone could have gone in the store 2 weeks later and still found 15%, 20% of stores didn't have it.
And unless you're in every store in the country all at once, how the heck are you supposed to keep track of it all?
That's where Field Agent comes in. These folks get into stores coast to coast and tell you what's actually going on in the stores.
Shelf placement, pricing, packaging, compliance, you name it. And it starts at $16 a store.
Stop guessing. Get the data. Contact Field Agent Canada.
Check out www.fieldagentcanada.com and see what they can do for you.
Hey, welcome to This Commerce Life, an unscripted podcast that focuses on the stories behind small and independent Canadian retail and Canadian CPG.
What we try and do is deliver or pull out the story of our guests and give them to you. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly of retail and CPG in Canada. We're filling a need because we think that retail is hard on the best of days, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up and make your living.
We also think that the industry, nor the people that inadvertently find themselves in the industry, really understand the industry at all. They don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes.
So listen to us, Phil and Kenny. We'll unravel it for you. We'll give you the story. We'll give you the story behind the story.
You're recording. Good job.
You better believe it, baby. I'm a tech wizard. A disaster. That's why I have kids.
Yeah, me too now.
Mine are probably a touch older than yours.
I couldn't figure out. Well, I have two teenage stepsons, 14 and 16.
Oh, yeah.
And then
29 and 28, so they're a little older.
And then I have an almost 2-year-old son. But I had to ask my kids to help me with my car stereo and stuff. And I'm not very old. So things are just changing and becoming more complex for every age.
Everything's there. I got the battery dropped in the Highlander the other day. Not that it mattered, but I couldn't change the clock prior to it dropping. I cannot change the clock post the battery dropping. So now I got to wait for one of the kids to be with me to say, can you fix this stupid thing? And they're going to want to teach me, right? I don't want to learn.
What, in the car? I can do it.
The Highlander, right? I can't find it.
I can do it when I'm in the car.
Okay, you fix it next time.
Yeah.
Right now, I know 6.5 hours behind, so I just do the math.
Teamwork.
Anyway, there you go.
Man, Kyla, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
You guys in Toronto?
I'm in East Van.
Where are you? Sorry,
I'm in East Vancouver.
Okay, we're in the same time zone. Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm Toronto. I'm Mississauga. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In Mississauga.
Wait. So sorry. So did you say you're in the same time zone? So you're Vancouver as well, or are you?
I live on the island. I'm in Mill Bay, which is like in between and Nanaimo.
Mill Bay is so nice.
I
It's
know
nice
where
little
that
restaurant
is.
down on the water.
Yeah.
What it's called.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. We've got almost an acre. We've got chickens and bull mastiffs and
amazing.
And a huge garden. It's my reprieve. It's amazing. I get to travel to big cities and then come home to my little slice of paradise.
That's awesome, man. It's a nice area.
We were just out there. Literally, I've just come home. We came home. I took the kids out because the kids have never been to the island. So we took them out. We did Salt Spring, Nanaimo. And then we're up at Rathtrevor Beach and like that area. And then we worked our way down and spent the day in Victoria. And I came home last night. Two of the kids are going to Comic-Con in Montreal. So we're on our way to Montreal right now. So
who's driving?
Cool.
The boy is driving. So if I look alarmed every now and then,
Is that safe?
the boy is driving. I'm not sure. You guys are the recorded proof. So if it doesn't go well,
Kind of like a reverse dash cam.
It's slightly troubling. Yeah.
Well, you must be refreshed from your visit here.
We loved it. It was so great. And then I think like weirdly, but not weirdly, I guess if you're not from the West Coast, it sounds like a weird observation, but like amongst the nature and all the amazing scenery there is, some of our most favorite parts, I think, were the bakeries out there.
Yes.
Yeah, we were in Calpe on Cowichan Bay on Monday, and
Yes.
we hit the bakery in Cowichan Bay, and it was just wow. Yeah.
True. And yeah, they use all organic, everything. We get all of our bread from there. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
did you stop at Hanks on the way to Victoria? Hanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit all the right spots. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we're glad to have you on the show. So we're kind of this 45 minute unscripted podcast. So you'll take us on your journey where you want to go on this. And then we'll stop and ask you some questions along the way and hear from you. So do you want to introduce yourself for the audience and take it from there?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So I'm Kyla. I'm the founder and CEO of Foxy Box Laser and Wax Bars. We are a hair removal concept on a mission to inspire and empower everyone to celebrate their uniqueness and rock what they've got. We specialize in the art of the Brazilian, and we have 24 locations across Canada. We're in 4 different provinces. You're on your way to Montreal right now. We've got a master franchise partner in Quebec, and they've got 2 locations in Montreal. So you should put it in your maps, and if it's by Comic-Con, go stop by stores. Griffintown and Griffinmere, we've got in Montreal.
24 locations.
Yeah.
20.
Wow. That's impressive.
We employ just over, I think, probably 250 staff amongst all of our stores.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool brand.
Wow.
So I started the brand 12 years ago now out of the dining room of my house. So I used my bartending tips to fund myself to learn how to do a Brazilian wax. They showed me one in school and sent me on my way. I used my bartending tips to fund my venture, and that was a great start of my business because every patron that came into the bar had woke up with a Foxy Box card in their pocket. So I really leveraged my bartending gig to build my business. And so that was 12 years ago. I used to give my customers a shot of tequila or whiskey while I was practicing getting good at Brazilian. And then, I started getting too many customers were coming to our house. Too many strangers were coming to my house that my roommates went, Kai, you can't see the house anymore. So I found a space downtown Victoria and then put a sandwich board out and built and grew from there. And fast forward to 12 years later, here we are. I franchised the concept. So we've got 24 locations because we're a franchise as well. So I still.
Wow.
Okay.
So I don't know if I want to know or not, but like what inspired this?
Why did I start Foxy Box? Yeah, so I used to go get my Brazilian waxes at a lady who had a home spa in her basement. And back then she didn't have online booking or, it wasn't easy to get an appointment. And she was so booked because back then, 12 years ago, the concept of a hair removal, like a wax bar, wasn't really a concept in Canada anyway. In the US, there's a European Wax Center has been around since like the early 2000s, I want to say. But back then the concept in Canada wasn't around. So the only other options were a high-end spa where you're going to spend over $100 in a dimly lit room with an esthetician who probably didn't want to be there. And you weren't going to get the best service, or the back of a nail salon where you might not have the most hygienic standards. Right. So it really wasn't a place that was fun, fast, and affordable to go get waxed. So I realized the missing gap in the market. And so I put myself to work, and I knew when I started Foxy Box, that I wanted to franchise and take over the world one box at a time. I was like, I'm going to build this business and I'm going to grow it and I'm going to scale it. And I had many people tell me, you can't do that, Kai. They just are going to come to you for you, which I took that as a dare, and now here we are.
Wow, that's. Can I ask? So was it 12 years ago you started this? You said, right?
12 years ago.
and you were bartending, and then did you go to school? Like, was bartending your kind of full-time gig, or?
Bartending was my full-time gig. So
Okay.
school was never really for me. I dropped out of high school grade 10 and just jumped into the workforce. I started serving from there, and entrepreneurship is kind of in my DNA. I come from like a lineage of entrepreneurs. My mother owned a bakery for my whole life. She was out of the house 4 a.m. and not home till 7 o'clock at night, almost 7 days a week. I watched her work so hard in business. So she kind of instilled that work ethic in me, that business work ethic of working hard. But I watched her business drained her. It wasn't like she was excited to go to work. She was exhausted. She was tired, and she did it as a means to support her girls. Like there was 3 of us. So she did it as a means to support the family, but not because she was passionate about it, And so that was my first job. I think I was 8 or 10 years old. I started working in the bakery, and my mom put me at the front. We were in the mall in Kamloops, BC. And she put me on the front because I was young and cute and everyone would want to buy coffee from me. And then she actually had somebody call labor service or child labor. They've got this young girl working there, and she had to write a letter saying she still go to school and like it's not impacting anything, and so but I always just had that drive to like I want to work and I want to make money, and it was always just ingrained in me. But like I said, once I found so fast forward, I guess, schooling, you asked me if schooling was my thing. It really wasn't. I've always tried stuff and thought and see if it stuck, and if it didn't, then I tried something else. So I did finish my high school online. They gave me a lot of credits for working full time. When I dropped out of high school, they gave me credits for work, and then I just had to upgrade some courses, and then I became a mental health worker. So when I was 18, I think I took a course here at Camosun that was just like a certificate program, and I learned to be a mental health worker. So I worked with youth with behavioral disorders. I did that for about a year, and then I thought I just had so much anxiety going into work, and I loved the boys that I worked with and the theory, but it was a lot of the workplace environment. Man, it takes an angel to do that type of work. It really is pretty stressful, and I think there's a timeline on it, and my timeline was only a year, unfortunately. And then after that, I started a clothing line. So I had a t-shirt line when I was like 20 or 19. I started t-shirts and then selling them at festivals, and I just that was fun for me, and I loved the design aspect of it, but I couldn't figure out how to make money or like grow that. I did that for 2 years, and I didn't know how to grow and scale in making clothes. So then I bring that idea to the ground, and then after my waxing experiences, that's when the idea of a wax bar came to fruition, and so that's what I set out to do.
Got it. Yeah, I wasn't. I think I was looking. I was trying to figure out where, kind of your pathway for experiences. So I wasn't so fixated on education, but I understand how you got to where you were. It's very cool, actually.
It comes naturally, clearly, right? So, I mean, mom did it. I mean, I get it must be tougher. I mean, you're doing it to raise a living, and a bakery, shit, man, lousy hours.
Margins are hours crazy. Yes. But yeah, so that's what inspired me to franchise was, really watching my mom struggle in business. And once I figured out a recipe for success in business, I wanted to support other women in their journey of being an entrepreneur and their dreams of being an entrepreneur, because it is tough. Owning a business is tough. I've heard every saying, it's like riding a roller coaster at the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of the next, you name it. It's like tough. So, that's why I built a franchise system to support other women in their ideas and dreams of becoming a business owner.
Was the goal always sort of franchise, or did you start and think, holy shit, I'd like to do more, but I can't do, I don't want 20 locations myself. Like, was that like part of it, or?
There's pros and cons to both. I always knew, you know what, Kenny, I always said when I started Foxy Bucks, I'm going to start a wax bar, I'm going to call it Foxy Bucks, and I'm going to franchise and take over the world. I had no idea what the hell franchising actually was. So, that was,
I was curious. I'm thinking like,
I told everybody that, and that was my vision and my mission. And I was like, this is what I'm going to scale, and we're going to be everywhere, and we're going to be global. And I didn't know what franchising was. So actually, my first venture in franchising failed. I've separated with my first franchise because I had no clue what I was doing. So everyone knew my vision because I told everybody my vision from day one. And so two of my estheticians, probably like 3 years into business, I had two of my estheticians come to me and say, Kai, we want to be your first franchisees. And I went, great, let's do it.
What is that?
Let's do it. Let's figure it out. So I
Yeah.
contacted a lawyer. They drafted a license agreement because it's much cheaper than drafting a franchise agreement, a fraction of the cost. But in hindsight, a franchise agreement is much better because there's disclosure in there. So it outlines everyone's responsibilities, obligations, and so there wasn't any of that from the beginning. So I digress. We signed a license agreement. We signed on the dotted line and everything went south from that minute on. I was still working in my shop full time. I was taking clients in the wax room. So anytime they needed me, I was not available to them, which created a really terrible relationship right from the get-go. I had nothing systemized. I didn't realize that was like a part of franchising, So I wrote an operations manual on the fly after we had signed them, which was just a basic, here's your hours, here's how to train and hire, just like a standard, nothing too detailed. And when I went into their location in Langford here on the island, my heart broke a little bit every time I walked in there because it didn't look like a Foxy box. Like my location looked nothing like what their location was, like other than a red wall and this Foxy box sign outside, you wouldn't have known it was a Foxy box. It had beveled tile decor, like all this like stuff that was not. And so now fast forward to today, I mean, we have everything systemized. We have guides that are for every trade that every trade needs for when they build out. So you can replicate a Foxy box and it looks and feels like a Foxy box. We have hiring guides that break down our values and our, things to look for to maintain our culture and our feel. We have everything systemized from our online training, but you name it. But back then I didn't have any of that. And so and then once they got open, oh my God, the whole podcast can be on this failure. I call it my Harvard education. A few things went wrong. One, they were totally undercapitalized. Because I worked full-time bartending, nobody would give me money to open a business, by the way, because I don't know if any of you have been in the service industry, but we don't make money on paper. So banks would look at me and go, we're not giving you any money, lady. I use tips to fund Foxy Box. And so until I got to a point where they would fund me to do more build outs and grow up the business. But for probably the first 2 years, they wouldn't even give me a business credit card, So I used my bartending to fund my business. So I didn't understand when I signed my franchisees that like, you need to have a ton of money to open a business, And so not a ton, but you need to be capitalized.
You
need money though.
You need runway.
You need money for all the things that go wrong. For all the things that, you don't plan on happening. Yeah.
Slow days. You need inventory, blah, 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 blah. Someone's got to pay for it.
Yeah.
So today our franchisees have to have 125,000 liquid cash on top of their loans to open a Foxy box, Back then, guys, they had $50,000 to their name, $50,000. $10,000 that went to me for the license agreement. The remainder was for their build out and operating costs. Fortunately for them, they had, two boyfriends that built out their store for pretty much nothing. It was just material and building costs were much cheaper back then. But, they opened with no money in their bank. They were straight from day one. So there's a lot of things that were like, we did not set each other up for success. And then once they were open, again, those like obligations and responsibilities, who's responsible for what? They were calling me to pick up shifts. We need you to come wax here. And this is not what I thought franchising was, So they were open for a couple months when I went, I need help. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm in over my head. These guys fucking hate me. We need to figure this out. Yeah. So I reached out to a franchise business coach. Her name's Angela Cote. Her dad started M&M Meat Shops that has like 500 locations across Canada.
Wow.
And so I reached out to her and I hired her as my franchise coach. I think the pivotal mindset that I had to have, which I didn't know, was the minute I sell a franchise, I'm no longer in the business of running wax bars. I'm in the business of selling franchises and supporting those people and making money. That's my only job. And I didn't know that. So, that was just something that you don't know what you don't know until you know. And so I stepped out of my business. We systemized everything. We really worked hard to repair that relationship. I had monthly meetings with them, full agendas, figured out support. But we couldn't get that relationship back. So we gave them two options, either I'll buy back your location, or you can keep your location and just change your name, but like we separate. And they chose the latter, so they still operate in Langford under Peach Beauty Bar. And we've got a franchisee back in that market who is one of the fastest growing stores in the system. And well supported and set up for success. So that's one of my Harvard educations.
So you learned it though quickly. So you weren't 20 deep at this, you're 1 deep. And you're figuring that, holy shit, I really have no clue what the hell I'm doing.
That's exactly right.
Okay, yeah. So that's at least, hey, listen, we know other people who, get 4, 5, 6, and then say, geez, I wonder if I really know what I'm doing. And you're thinking, okay, well, you're 5, 6 deep. I mean.
Yeah, that's a big feat to overcome. And I think I'm really, people ask me, like, would you change anything? And I really, that experience really shaped and set the foundation for our growth. So I know it was like an unfortunate situation, but those girls are still happy running their business.
Awesome.
And I learned so much that we went back to market over prepared for that phase in franchising, which is the place you want to be at. So,
that's awesome though.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, so it's a little rough, but I mean, all right, whatever. I mean, nothing, it's still not easy. So what's the difference? It's not like it gets easier necessarily, right?
But
so that's what you learn.
It is rough, but it is a partnership, right? Like, so in a lot of ways, like, because your language has been a lot about, like, I've taken the responsibility on, I've got to go fix it for them. But on the other side, if you think of franchisees, when a franchisee buys into, like, let's use something really common, like a Tim Hortons or one of these ones, they are asking a lot of questions too. Do you know what I mean? Like, so on the other side of this, you had 2 partners who were equally as green as you, going, hey, let's do this thing. What is this thing? I don't know what this thing is. Let's go figure, you know what I mean? So, but I hear it's amazing, right? Because I hear you going, listen, like, I feel like I'm not doing these guys right. How do I fix it? Right? Which is not always common to hear. So it's amazing. Good on you. Yeah.
I think that there was a lack. One thing that I really try and hammer into new franchisees that join the system, because you're absolutely right, Phil, it is a partnership. This isn't like you're just buying something and then moving on and doing your thing. This is a partnership. We're getting married. So it's really, we call our Foxy Box franchisees the Foxy Box family. We really do ensure that it's important to me that as we grow, I'm not just selling a franchise to anybody. We are awarding franchises to people who fit with our culture so that we can scale with heart and humor and make sure that we're not diluting our brand and our experience as we grow. And so setting that expectation, Phil, is what we do with our new franchisees. We have them call, we've got, 24 stores open. And so, and more are coming. And we have them call all of our franchisees and ask them the tough questions. How long did it take for them to break even? Are they happy with their support? If they could do anything different, what would they do? We have them grill our franchisees. We're not allowed as a franchisor to tell them a lot of information, like their profitability, or we can share top line numbers, but we can't promise anything, because if they don't, then they can come back at us, right? But they can ask our franchisees. So we make all those introductions and we say, grill them, go in, meet with them. And our franchisees are so happy to share all of their experiences. And I feel very proud that we've got an engaged, happy system that are stoked and love the brand as much as we do. And so, that setting that expectation piece is critical when you're bringing on partners. You're not just going to open a business and then be profitable on day one. And also, what does success mean to you? What does look like to you? Like, asking all of these questions, we want to make sure that we set each other up for success.
So you truly have to go through a vetting. Like, you got to make sure that one, right location, I'm assuming you're making sure right people, like all of it. Like, I'm actually more impressed you learned that after just one, you learned it right away. Like, again, most I think will get 5, 6, 7, 10 deep and then think, fuck man, this is not like, this isn't the way it should be, right? That's hard.
Yeah. And
hard enough at one.
And the thing is too, Kenny, one of the things that I kind of was ingrained in me by Angela Cote was, make your 10 franchisees the most successful, over support the shit out of them.
Absolutely.
Validation. That's how you're going to grow. If they're not, and so we've taken that and we've done that as we've grown. It's not like we've stopped that over support at 10. Like I our system, that's one of the things I really pride myself in is, I always say that I'm the energy and then I hire smarter people all around me. And I've got such a great team to support this infrastructure. And the support that we offer is pretty incredible. We're a fully transparent company. So we share numbers for all locations. Each week, the entire system gets total sales, membership conversions, all the KPIs that we track, that are important for our business to keep a pulse on our business. We share all the locations numbers with the entire system because, Kenny, if Uptown did, $15,000 in laser sales, you might want to call them to go, hey, what the hell did you
do? Like, what's the?
And so that's a reason why you join a system. So I know that there's kind of, I don't know what the stats are, if it's like 50-50. I would say more systems probably don't share all numbers.
Yeah, I would think that.
I think so too.
But I think it's really important. So we do, that's how we've started. And we had to make that decision early on because it's hard to pivot or change that once you've grown. Like, okay, now we're going to share everybody's numbers, or now we're taking them away. We kind of had to make that decision early on. And we decided that we think that transparency creates trust. It creates, learning opportunities, and that's why you join a system. So we went that route. We share everybody's numbers. We have awesome monthly calls. Everyone brings a win, a struggle, a great idea. Every month our whole system is on there. We've got a franchise business coach who's got great business acumen, who's really working with people to get them to profitability or more, hit their break even from the ground up. That we've built a really great infrastructure to support this system. And that started from that one penny. That started from that one fuck up, if you will.
Well, I guess it's not even that. It's a learning thing, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know, right? And your idea was cool, but you didn't start with a franchise. You started.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a complete fuck up. It's kind of like, I mean, you get excited, you want to do shit, right? I mean, it happens, but it's the learning part that I'm more impressed with, the fact that like you figured it out pretty fast that this wasn't working.
Yeah.
Because for all I know, most people seem to keep just doubling down. You're thinking, Jesus Christ. I mean, wishing success is great, but I mean, you gotta.
I think one of the things that we see a lot, right, is we see founders who are amazing at building, but then founders and CEOs or leaders are like two different buckets, right? Because when you build something for real for yourself, it is that beginning step. Like you're in there, you're grinding, you're taking shifts, you're running the business, and then you see an opportunity to jump on it. But the transition to being a leader, which is what you did, right? Because you literally went, fuck, like these guys, they're not getting leadership. I'm not leading, right? Like I'm not helping and leading. I've got to change that model. Is something that lots of founders, they miss that road sign, right? Like, and then they wonder, right? Because you see them 3, 4, 5 years later, and they're kind of, the complaint is the same, which is nobody does it as good as me. If I'm not there, things don't happen, right? But you just gave them the anecdote for that, which is you've got to have the right systems in place. You've got to have the right people in place. And then you've got to have a bigger mindset than I'm the gold standard, right? Like, because that's what you've said is I was the gold standard. I'm going to show you how to be a gold standard. So I don't have to be your gold standard all the time, right? Which I really love. Like, I think that's amazing. So
I think it is too. I think the coaching models is sort of the idea. I mean, you can't be, you can't play for them. Like to your point, like when they're phoning you, can you come do a shift almost? That's not what this is about. Like you got to manage your world, but let me show you how to do that.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's really impressive. Like seriously. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah. And I think the big thing too, Phil, to create these systems as well as a founder, you're exactly right. It's like, I was the brand, and people said that to me all the time. Hi, people are going to come to you because of you. In my early days, I was all energy. And, I had people coming to my house, my dining room, which had a curtain up with roommates walking around, and nobody left being like, walking out being like, that was fucking weird. They came back and they told all their friends like, wow, that was an amazing experience. I just got Brazilian in someone's dining room. And, so how did I take that and pass that energy on to someone else and grow, right? And so those early days were fun for me because, I didn't have any money, so I can talk about marketing, like how I got marketing.
Yes, please.
But really, that experience, I broke that down into how I wanted to replicate it. How I got people to get excited about getting a Brazilian in the dining room is I broke everything down with humor. Like I would make a joke that they probably thought they showed up at Fight Club and not Foxy Box because it was like at someone's house, make them laugh.
Yeah.
I would serve them a drink, which we can't do anymore, but then I would connect with them. And so we really broke that down into our systems. If you go to any of our stores, humor is critical, is one of our core values. We call ourselves magicians. We have funny sayings all over the walls. Don't beat around the bush. Viva la vulva. All of these fun sayings. And because we think this is a vulnerable situation. And so we want to make people laugh. We want to diffuse. If you've never had a Brazilian before, you're under bright lights, buck naked with someone you just met is a pretty intimate experience. So we want to make it lighthearted and fun and put humor into everything. So we hire magicians who are skilled in the art of hair removal and also double as therapists and comedians. And we make it a really clean, clinical, and fun experience. But to replicate those systems too, one of the most important things I did at the beginning of when I was working with Angela Cote is come up with our brand foundations so that yes, you can hire people. And how do you replicate Kyla and Foxy Box and keep that passion and that energy as you grow? And so I went to a branding retreat here on the island in Nanoose Bay, and it's a branding specialist who works with huge companies like A&W and banks and like you name it. And then her partner is an equine therapist. So like works with horses. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yeah.
So she did therapy with me in like a horse pen to dig deep on my background and why I started Foxy Box. And well, okay, that makes sense where you came from in your life experience, why you want to empower women, that's like what this brand is. And then I worked with a branding specialist and we dissected all of that learning we came up with our core values, our mission, our vision, what we want to do, but we didn't just write those sayings on the wall. We put those into systems. So, into hiring, to work at Foxy Box, you need to have one of three things: a positive attitude, empathy, and you have to be self-responsible. We put those, if you don't have one of those, you're not the right fit for Foxy Box. And that's how you replicate culture and energy, is that you have to dissect everything, put that into your hiring practices so that you're making things you feel when you open up a Foxy Box. If you're hiring, you're like, I don't know if this person is the right fit. You go back to those three things. Well, they don't have a positive attitude. Okay.
Yeah.
Right person, you make things easy to replicate that energy. I can talk about my marketing because that's like the fun part. Back then, like I said, I didn't have any money when I started my business. And so marketing, I had to get creative. And I used to do, because I had an in at the bar and all the nightclubs, you guys know flash mobs. Do you remember that trend?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had one of my magicians was a burlesque dancer. And so I tell people in business this as well, like lean into your staff strengths. That's going to create loyalty. It's going to create that family feel. If you guys can lean on each other, create a great workplace and environment for them, take care of them, treat them well, and utilize their strengths, that makes them feel seen and valued as well. So April Ace used to work at another spa, and her boss hated that she did burlesque and went, don't talk about it here. Don't, I don't want that a part of my business because it's like a whatever. And I went, that's fucking awesome. Let's lean into that. She put together a burlesque dancing group, and we went and did flash mobs at all of the nightclubs. So she would go in, they'd turn on this sexy song.
That's amazing.
On the floor. They were dressed in all red and like fox ears, which we don't do anymore either. But they're like little fox masks, and they handed out Foxy Box and swag and everything, and and drove recognition. Another thing that we did, universities were back in school. I'd load up my car full of my team and we'd just go pepper the universities with pens and coupons and stuff. And I learned, I guess, ignorance is bliss, because you're supposed to pay to be those. It's called like opening week and you're supposed to pay to have a booth there, but I didn't know that. So I just was like, let's go take advantage. All these students are here. Let's let them know. And then my favorite marketing idea that I had was April Ace, this burlesque dancer, is a beautiful, boisterous, vivacious Italian woman. She's amazing. And The Bachelor Canada was looking for bachelorettes, and I knew they would pick her to be on the show. She's just like the perfect fit for the show. So I paid for her flight to Calgary, where they were auditioning. They chose her. She was on the show, and the news blew up in Victoria. Victoria, local girl, picked to be on The Bachelorette. And so when she got back from the show, everyone wanted to book with her, which is exactly
awesome.
I ended up sending her there. And she didn't end up with The Bachelor, but she did find love on the show. And she ended up dating one of the camera guys or someone who works on the show, actually.
Wow.
They're not together anymore, but she did find love for a little bit there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
cool, like guerrilla marketing, man. Just just dig in.
That's exactly right. So like you said too, Phil, like, founders are different because my franchisees are probably not going to do that. They're not going to be putting together a flash mob group and all of that. And so it is different. But I always tell all my franchisees, partner, we've got someone to help them with marketing, put out your online ads, your Facebook, your Google, everything.
Yeah.
But forget about that guerrilla piece, because people buy from people, and they're going to see you when they need your service. They're going to go, I saw that ad online. I met that crazy girl, Kyla. I'm going to go support her business. Leave coupons everywhere you go. Don't forget about getting out in your community. It's so critical.
I guess it's different too. Like I'd imagine when you started, you'd be on the, because, when you started this thing, body hair was a totally different thing back then, right? And then Brazilians probably really wasn't normal, I don't think, 12 years ago.
Phil, it was a
might have been just coming in, right? But you didn't really talk about it, quite risque, and then it wasn't really something that, say, your normal, your neighbor next door would be doing, I guess. Is
for sure. If Brazil was a pretty hush thing, like it wasn't like people were like, oh, I go get Brazil. It was like it wasn't, So when we opened, people were like, oh my God, I'm so happy that you're here. And it was new for a lot of people too. Or like, I wanted to try this. Back then as well, 12 years ago, we were a little bit more bold with our marketing, I would say. And we've learned to pivot with the market and learned things as well. Like as times change, so does the brand. And we've evolved into a more professional, polished version of when I started. But my brand offended a lot of people, Phil. Like when I first opened, I had people like, say some nasty things to us.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I had a bus company reached out to me to sell me a bus ad. I went, sure, yeah, of course, put us on a bus. And then they went, actually, I brought it to the higher ups, and we can't put your bus ad on because your brand is too sexual and risque. We can't put your and so anyways, 6 years later, they came back to me and did sell us a bus ad when we entered the Vancouver market. But that was like a hush thing. But you know what I've always said is, love us or hate us, you won't forget us. And so you hate me, you're going to talk about me, and then someone's going to go, oh, what a great business. I'm going to go check them out. Foxy Box has a name you won't forget.
Love that.
So I was going to ask you that too. Sorry, Phil, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, more than name, the name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like where did that one come from? I mean, I could put some things together, but I'm just curious to see where it came from.
You know what? I had a list of names that probably had top 3. I don't know what the other ones were really, because Foxy Box just stood out the most. But some other ones, something with a beaver, I'm sure, and so I would just ask all my friends, like, which one? I would ask all my network, and they're like, Foxy Box obviously is it. And then my logo, I don't know if you guys have checked out my logo, but it's something that you can't unsee once you see it, which is great.
Yes.
And so anyways, when I started Foxy Box, I was like, I need a logo. My friend put me in contact with a graphic designer. And so we went and had a beer at a bar, and I went, I'm starting a wax bar. I'm calling it Foxy Box. We specialize in Brazilians. I need a logo. She literally drew up my logo in like 2 seconds in front of me and charged me $50. So I went, one day I'm going to have to bring
once, and that one's stuck in the brain. Okay.
And I'm going to have to bring this woman to Brazil one day or something, But we've since cleaned it up. Our fonts have changed and what have you to a more polished version. But like everything back then, we just did it on a budget, and we hustled and just made it happen.
It's actually a really nice looking webpage.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure at the beginning it would have probably a little bit more not risque. I mean, it is. It's what it is.
But you kind of need it to be,
well
right?
done.
Because
Look at
it's
your
not, it wasn't
location.
normal then, right? Like
Yeah.
you know, resilience was definitely not something you talked about. So even I can see why the risque needed to be there. You needed to be a bit bigger and bolder, right? At least until it became a normal thing. So,
And
yeah.
I think with our marketing too, I now have a head of marketing who has taken things off of my plate, who knows, you know, back then I remember I put out a radio ad that had a woman, our little kids screaming, and then someone going, "What is it?" And someone went, "Sasquatch," and then they went, "Need a Foxy box appointment?" Like, come in. So that was on the radio, and I had it. Like,
oh my God, I love that.
That's awesome.
Amazing email going. I was riding in the car. I had a few people be like pissed off about that radio. I had someone in the car who's like, doesn't do hair removal because of religious reasons, and you really have offended us, and all of these things, and so. You know, I in that moment, I went, well, people are hearing the ad, so that's good. But also, fast forward to today, we really have pivoted to make sure that we're not offending people as well. There's a fine line in our business. Back then, like I said, we were really bold, really in your face. We really pushed the boundaries, but there is a really fine line between funny and offensive, and so we have to kind of be cognizant of that now. So I have marketing who is great at being cognizant of that. And another thing, how we've kind of changed with the market as well, is we always had male and female services, and we still see this. I mean, I still see this on a lot of people's websites, and so we have transgender customers, and so we'd have people write in or call and go, "I don't know what service to book. Like, you know, you've got these two categories, but identify as female, but you know, have you?" So. But we're the first wax bar in Canada to go gender neutral, which means that we took out gender from all of our verbiage. So if you go on our website, if you look at services, we just have hair removal. I had different prices, like prices for a full leg men's would be different than a full leg women's, which really, I mean, you could be the same size and hair, having the same amount of hair. It doesn't really matter. So that was kind of, that was just kind of like the standard or the norm. So we removed all of that. We just have a full leg is the same price for everybody. And Brazilians, we just have it by anatomy. So we have 20-minute Brazilians for people with a vulva, 40-minute Brazilians for people with a penis, and we've taken gender out of everything. So we've done that from like even our marketing too. When I was running it, it was, "Hey, sister, babe, girl," you know, and we've shied away from that as well to be more inclusive for everybody, because we really want to be a safe space for everyone. So that was important to us. And it's cool to see other businesses following suit. Like I said, we were the first in Canada to take that out of our verbiage. And I still do see it on a lot of wax bar websites, like male and female. And I just go, that's just, it's not inclusive.
Yeah, it's tricky, right? Like there's a lot to navigate there. There's a lot to, but it's amazing that you've done that, right?
Because it's something you got to learn though too, right? I'm assuming at the beginning, I'm pretty sure, like 12 years ago. I mean, it's going to be mostly women. So you're talking to the market that you're talking to, and you're going to be more risque because those who are probably willing to talk about it or go to a place need to be the ones that are definitively not scared, not shy, whatever you want to call it. Then as it becomes more mainstream, you've got to not tone it down. I hate that terminology, but you got to just pivot. You got to change how you talk. And that's just part of life. But you know, but I think at the beginning, I think you did what you had to do. I think you had to make it more. Yeah. You're not going to get conservative, shy people to come in. You're going to get the group that really wants to do this and has been doing it. So you got to cater to what you got to cater to, right? And then as it becomes more popular and more mainstream, light it up. Yeah. I think you've done a remarkable job. Like it's
guys, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Thank you.
Really impressive.
So your clientele now, I guess, has definitely changed, right? Like as you, were you predominantly female or in the beginning, and it's kind of drifted, or still are? Okay.
We still are predominantly female. I would say, I want to say 95% of our female. We are an inclusive space. I think we have really got a lot more of transgender clients, which I'm really proud of. We partner with some organizations. Some of our stores do, to give discounts to people who are transitioning, because we do laser hair removal as well. So so yeah, I would say though we're predominantly female. There is some wax bars that are just for men as well. There's Manscapes and some other that's in Vancouver, Kenny, or like there's some in Toronto. But so yeah, we specialize in the Brazilian, and that mostly is women.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So one thing I did notice, like heavy in the West, BC. I was impressed that Alberta had as many as it did. Not for anything. It's a conservative tone of Alberta that rams in my head, right or wrong. That's just where I go.
Penny, you're so right on that, because I'm telling you, our landlords there with our signage, we're like, you got to tone it down.
I can just feel Alberta being Alberta, and I'm thinking, okay. And then I'm looking like Phil, like Ontario, like pretty much kind of a no-show. There's only a few spots. I saw Queen West and Hamilton, but like really?
We've got 4 in Ontario. So we've got Oakville, Cambridge, and Hamilton. So lots of room to grow in Ontario.
You should spread out too.
Yeah. So we certainly own the West Coast because I started it here. Most of our places started on the island. I think we have 7 locations on the island. And then we've got some around the interior. We've got Kamloops, Abbotsford. We've got lots in BC. Calgary, Alberta, we are gaining traction. We're signing another person there shortly. I don't want to announce it yet because we haven't signed, but we should be signing them this week. But yeah, Calgary is a funny one. We have on all of our windows, we have drop your drawers, the city name, for the best hair removal experience ever, period. We don't beat around the bush. That's what we have on all of our our windows. And then home to your friendly neighborhood magicians. So we are in there are some cities that say, you can't say drop your drawers, Calgary.
I just love the Alberta play. Like I just can't get that out of my head now.
Yes, yeah. And
I got the logo that I can't get out, and then the logo in Calgary is definitively not leaving my brain right now.
Yes. And you know what? It's such a great market. Alberta is such a great market. Calgary is a great market. We came in, everything is expensive there. We're the cheapest place and we still are on the higher end. If you look at any of the other markets, we're on the higher end for our pricing, but we're the cheapest in Calgary, and there isn't a lot of competition. And there is a lot of women I know, in Calgary, they all spend money on these services. So it is a really great market. So Ontario has a couple players that have been, there's 3 of us big players in the hair removal space in Canada, and we all started kind of around the same time. Wax On and Fuzz are my competitors they started in Toronto. So they've got all around the same size, but most of them are in Ontario because that's their home base. And then we dominate the West Coast. But really, we're trying to break into that Ontario market and beyond. And we've got some awesome franchise partners there that are setting the foundation there to help grow our brand over there as well.
So Kyla, what do you want out of this? Like, where does this go? Like, what do you see? Like,
where do you go now?
Is it large amount of franchisees you want? Is it like what's sort of the
where's my driving this? Yeah, what's next? I want to grow this to 150 locations. That's my goal. And then, like I said, I'm a mom of 3 boys, so I don't know if there's like a succession plan with one of my boys taking it over. My oldest son is very smart. He wants to be a lawyer, and he's helping my husband with his bookkeeping and stuff. So he might be a great person to take over this business because, I really have, I've really created something that is fun, and I enjoy what I do, and I've got a long timeline still in front of me. My vision for Foxy Box is to be global. We've trademarked Foxy Box Australia. I'd love to have Foxy Box Down Under. We've just started our marketing efforts to enter the US.
Foxy Box Down Under, love that.
So we've got our ads running in the US to hopefully find some US partners. We just I've trademarked the UK as well, and I don't want to speak too soon there as well, but we may have found someone awesome to help bring our brand to London, which would be great because our brand would be very well received there. I think I've really looked at I want to go in the US because they have the population to scale, but the US has a ton of competition already. And so, looking at other places like the UK, really this concept doesn't really exist over there yet. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in other areas as well. So we're kind of looking. You could
definitely see Europe for sure. Like you could see like Mexico, South America, and then play like in what we would consider more conservative, like in Australia, New Zealand. Like you got to play everywhere. I mean, the States is the States, whatever, right? I mean,
yeah, I agree. The States is a lot of lawsuits, is a lot of lawsuits, a lot of competition, but they do have population, so you can scale. So I'm not, when I'm looking at the US, I'm not like, I want to go and blow up there, but it would be nice to get a few awesome franchisees just to build some presence there.
Yeah.
But I don't see it as a means of like, we're going to blow up in the US. I really do think that we've got a lot of room to grow in Canada still. And looking at other places like Europe, I think we've got a good play there.
I think you got tons of places in Canada. And I always look at it from Canadians, I guess, again, this is from a man's perspective, which means shit. But, when you look at it, you think because we are such a country that definitely travels to warmer weathers and southern weathers more frequently all through the winter than probably a lot of other places. Like you'd think that anywhere, Saskatoon, Regina, like you just run across the country of, let's say 25, 30,000 people or more. Like, and you're thinking, like, I'm looking at your list and thinking, shit, like you got nothing but uphill.
Yep.
Yeah. You're exactly right. I think, well, I know that a lot of these smaller communities too, I mean, we hit home runs there. There's nothing like
it.
Kamloops was one of our fastest to profitability, most successful because there's nothing there. It's a population of 110,000 with competition. So there's a ton of those communities in the prairies, throughout Canada that we really have an opportunity to make an impact in.
Well, there's still more room in our province. Like, again, I look at the list, you think if you can do 7 or 8 on the island, like shit.
Yeah.
Like there's 50 locations in BC alone. And the Albertans seem to be all over this. I mean, there's a lot of room there too then.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
That's incredible. Good for you. Wow.
No, it's great. It's great. I mean, you look at the other side too, Australia, conservative, but not that conservative. They have a lot of humor.
Yes.
They have a lot of drop your drawers it'd be funny to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like down under, they really, it'd be funny to them, right? Like it's good marketing to have out there. So they respond to that stuff for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
Amazing.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
I didn't know what we were walking into today on this one, to be very frank with you. And when it started, I thought, all right. I'm really impressed. I'm more impressed the fact that even how fast you learn, considering you didn't, it wasn't like you were a seasoned business person or whatever. Like, good on you, man. Like, I mean, shit, what a great story.
I think I don't have a plan B. So I think you got to learn and you have to pivot. I didn't come from money. I didn't come from, a lot of backing. And so it's imperative that we learn quickly because there is no plan B. This is
right.
You shit out and you move forward.
Wow. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Good
Seriously.
for you. We love this. We love this
Very
a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. We've got one in Mount
people-
Pleasant. You should pop into the Mount Pleasant one.
Where in Mount Pleasant? Where are you? I didn't see the address.
73 Kingsway. So main Broadway and Kingsway.
Yeah. Sort of on the triangle there. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Phil's probably in town.
Are you actually going to go? Are
that?
you actually going to go, Kenny?
I'm going to wait for you to come down. We go down together. It's right. It's not far from home. Well, you know what? Because when we go, like he goes and he records and he films. I don't do that.
I'm not sure. Listen, if I can get him in one of your stores, I absolutely will. I'll film it and I'll put it on YouTube so you can watch it.
I ain't going there to film.
I'm not
that's
sure.
But definitely, that's good. That's awesome. That's a great story. Like seriously, Kyla, that's very cool. Very cool.
Guys, it was awesome chatting with you all. Phil, drive safe.
Yeah. I will. My son's driving relatively safe.
Yes.
Yeah, he's driving. I'm not looking too worried, but yeah.
You're sitting on it a little bit.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, that was awesome.
Have a wonderful day.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
And then
Thank
keep us
you.
posted if you ever want, if you end up signing a bunch of new locations or you want to, I don't know, you're doing something different or want to
do something different.
Just ping us. We can always do like a quick YouTuber if you want to just, whatever.
That's awesome. We've got hopefully a couple of deals coming in the pipeline. One hopefully happen this. So once we've got updates, we'll send them over.
Send them over, and if anything, we can just share them and post them and let people know, hey, new location, and there you go.
That's great. Thank you guys so much.
Our pleasure.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. Thank you very much for doing this.
Bye, Kyla.
Have a good day. I had no idea that's what we were talking about today. Like zero idea.
Yeah.
I actually thought this was something referred to for something else, and I thought, what the hell is this? She's pretty bright. She really figured it out. Considering she had no business like she's not business acumen. It's a bad choice of words, but like no business. Like, I mean, wow. Like seriously.
Yeah. No, she. So it's funny because we do get a lot of in the podcast inbox. We get a lot of PR folks reaching out, and then most of them don't work, right? Because a lot of them are kind of like e-commerce magicians or whatever. No offense or anything, right? But we don't know who they are, and then a lot of them are American, so we filter out. But this one, the PR lady reached out. She was Canadian. I had a quick look. She made a whole lot of sense to me, so I said yes. But I tried to stay true to form and really didn't do a lot of research. So I wasn't really sure. Yeah, so I wasn't really sure how that was going to turn out, but she's amazing.
That's hilarious. You know what it was?
Absolutely amazing.
What did you think when I saw Kyla? I'm thinking,
you thought it was Rad Jams.
We're talking Rad Jams. And then she comes on thinking, that's not Kyla.
That's not Kyla.
And then you're thinking,
I'm Kyla. Just not that Kyla. Yeah.
BC Food and Bev or Export Navigator. She started talking, thinking, the hell did we find this one?
Yeah.
That was a good story. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. Really great. Awesome. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Do you want to hit stop record?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can't do that for me.